Hey, what's going on, y'all? This your boy Nico Blunts, and this is once again Nico Knows Wrestling. Before we get too deep, I want you guys to hit that like and subscribe button for me if you can. Definitely appreciate all the love, and I'm all about spreading love. So today was just an impromptu video that I'm actually doing. And so what this video is about was actually a thought I had a couple hours ago. And I just wanted to talk about CM Punk's return to AEW and what it means. And for me, I'm definitely a CM Punk fan, so I was excited to hear Tony Khan make that announcement on Wednesday's Dynamite. But I do feel like this brings a lot of business for AEW, with them having Wembley on the mark, getting ready to come up in August. I think that's gonna make the fan base there even more excited. And I definitely think if you have the right booking, you now have your main event match, whether it's CM Punk and Kenny Omega facing off for the right to face MJF at possibly Full Gear. Or, you can actually have CM Punk versus MJF at Wembley, at All In. And I definitely think that's a huge money match. And I'm sorry, y'all, I got some sweat up in my eye right now. It's hot up in this room. Damn, it's hot. Boy, I'm gonna power through it, Gotta do it. But I think CM Punk's return means that hopefully all working parties involved in the incident that happened last year are able to put their feelings aside and, do what's best for business, is the term that we often hear in wrestling. I definitely think CM Punk put asses in seats, as they like to say also. Even more than that, I recognize that they were booking this show to the debut episode of AEW Collision is going to be premiering in Chicago. And I've been talking to some of my friends. And I was telling them honestly, I knew CM Punk would be back for that debut. And it was just like, oh man, Nico, how you know? How you know that? He ain't been back all this time. And I'm like, well, I'll read the blogs, like most wrestling fans do, especially when I'm at work and I got downtime. I'm on cage side seats. Shout out to cage side seats. Or prowrestling.net, something like that. Some of the WrestleZone before, ain't really all the shit anymore, but hey. But I knew that Punk would be back there. You know why I knew? Because you're not going to have a show in Chicago, and you don't have the biggest star in the company who's from Chicago. Not there. I did not see that. We know how Chicago is. I don't blame them if they probably would have took over the show and started CM Punk's chants consistently throughout the show, making it hard for the guys to even work in the ring. So I was not surprised to hear that. I didn't really care for Tony Khan laying out, I want to say, the multiple announcements. This is like 3 weeks in a row where we've had an announcement. So I get, trying to keep fans engaged and giving a surprise. Who doesn't love surprises, right? I know my kids love surprises. I love surprises even being at 35 years old. But I will say that I think, nobody expected him to just come out and say it. I mean, a couple people did, but I didn't expect it to be this soon of him to just come out like how he did it real casually. Just like, hey, I just want to say, hey, thank you guys for being AEW fans. And yeah, CM Punk will be back. Thanks, guys. And just left. Like, damn, Tony, have some emotion, bro. I mean, the fans at the ringside clearly had a lot of emotion once it was announced. More emotion than what I heard from the Double or Nothing crowd there in Las Vegas this weekend. I heard that was a really dead crowd. So, and I also feel like it opens up a lot more potential different storylines as well. With the Elite and the Black Combat Cool engaged in a feud that, who knows how long it may go. I definitely think they get a blood and guts match out of this. I definitely think Kenny brings in Okada. If he doesn't bring Okada, I'm pretty positive he reunites the Golden Lovers. And I mean, who doesn't love Kota Ibushi? You won't get any complaints from me. I have no complaints about Okada either. I see that Okada and Mox were involved in a six-man tag not too long ago. I think Yuta was in that match as well. The next match he's bringing Claudio back to New Japan. So once again, there's already some history involved. John Moxley and Okada already have some kind of angle going on, so it makes a lot of sense for one of them to be involved, especially with Takeshita going ahead and aligning himself with Don Callis, which to me, I'm just being honest, I don't really care about Don Callis. I don't find him as a guy that gets a lot of heat. I mean, he got a lot of heat now because of turning on Kenny Omega, and I think that's his one saving grace. Yes, I want to tell you guys you should not smoke, and it is very harmful for you, and I'm definitely trying to quit. It's not going to be today, but I'm definitely trying. It's a daily battle I face. My kids get on me about it all the time. So I appreciate you guys. If you're going to tell me about not doing it, hey, I appreciate that. Let me know where I'm wrong. But yeah, dealing with John Collins, for me, I look at it as like, I don't think he's a really great heel manager. He kind of makes everything about himself. Even the promo where Kenny had a couple weeks, which is kind of to me, kind of let me know where I saw him possibly turning heel. Because in the midst of Kenny cutting his in-ring promo at Dynamite, you got Don Collins who hijacks it, and next thing you know, he's talking about the scar that he has, which he mentions every damn week. Like, bro, I get you have a scar or whatever. I get you took some kind of cosmetic facial damage, but you don't have to mention it in your promos every time you get a mic in front of your face, Don. It's just not needed. It's not needed, bro. Also, I like that Takeshita cut that promo in Japanese as well. You're a heel. Who gives a damn if they understand you, right? Nothing like some heat. I do think he also has a match with Kenny Omega down the line. And despite his inconsistent booking, I really only remember him winning one big match, honestly, so far on TV in AEW. And I will say when he goes back to New Japan full time, whenever that may be, he's going to be a lot bigger star than what he was when he left because of the amount of experience he's had, the guys he's been in the ring with consistently in AEW. I think that does nothing but enhance his value. And when I look at Don Callis, I think he can be somebody that definitely gets this guy the right kind of heat and get him some attention to be in a premier storyline. Because often, one of the critiques I have with AEW is how often people could get lost in the shuffle with the booking over there. For instance, you take a guy like Keith Lee. Keith Lee started off having a decent run in AEW. Him and Swerve joined a team together and went on ahead to become the AEW Tag Team Champions, and it even had a nice little tag team title run. They ended up losing to the Acclaim, and then the Acclaim, who I predicted back in, I want to say, June or so, that they would be Tag Team Champions in 6 months. It only took them 2 or 3 months. So, yeah, suck on that. But I say with Keith Lee, he's so lost in the booking now. Even Swerve, like Swerve has the embassy, the mogul embassy behind him. He even brought in Rick Ross. So he's a lot of things to at least keep him in people's mind and are some click-worthy shit that people are going to click on and get some attention to AEW. You look at guys like Jay White. I mean, yeah, he's in the storyline right now with Ricky, but Jay White, I feel like, should be in a much higher spot, and I don't put that on him. It's nothing he's done. He's done the best to make sugar out of shit. But I feel like with him, he just came in at a bad time with the company because so many of the guys that he could have possibly had a feud with, they're doing shit already. You have Jay White feuding with Ricky Starks, and he's got Juice Robinson in his corner with Club Gold, which I really wish they would have made another name. I mean, you could have, hell, you're in All Elite Wrestling. You could have been the Bullet Club Elite. I mean, maybe they didn't want to go back because I think that's a thing from New Japan. I'm not a super New Japan guy. Not as saying I just didn't watch it religiously. As far as enjoying the shows and the material, nothing but compliments from me. But I feel like they could have came up with a much better name than just saying Bullet Club Gold. I feel like Jay White's kind of got lost in the shuffle there. He's not really in a premier angle, and that same goes for Ricky. Ricky, after he came out the feud with Jericho, which I feel like everybody who kind of feuds with Jericho doesn't really come out necessarily looking the best in their feud. It really doesn't do anything for them to kind of feud with him at this point. They just always seem to drag on and on and on, and they never seem to come to a definite conclusion. You look at some of the other guys, even Claudio. Claudio is the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion, but he's like the third in charge in the Blackpool Combat Club, and he's the guy that never gets on the mic. You always hear from John Moxley. You definitely hear from Bryan Danielson, but you rarely hear from Claudio. You rarely hear Claudio on the live mic. And I think for me, that is a misuse of the guy. I really wish they would let him get on the mic more and not just be like Moxley's big lackey, and where he can kind of, again, form his own connection with the crowd and get some more depth to his character. But they really do treat Ring of Honor like such a second stepsister, ugly-headed stepsister of AEW. I mean, if they take somebody from Ring of Honor, even if they come over on a premiere episode of Dynamite or so, they're most likely still going to take the L. I mean, you had the Ring of Honor Trio champions, the Mogul Embassy, this week square off against Darby Allin. And I want to say, who was it, Jungle Boy? It was Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy, right? And these guys are the Trio's heavyweight champions over there. They had beat Dalton Castle and the boys for the belts with Brian Cage. And so they come over and they're booked on a match on Dynamite against Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin. And these guys are huge monsters. And of course, they end up taking the L. And I get it's for maybe to advance the storyline what Orange Cassidy has against Swerve Strickland, who they also recently announced they are going to be headlining Dynamite next week for a match for the AEW Intercontinental title, which I think it will be 23 straight defenses of that title for Orange Cassidy. And for me, I'm really predicting that he's going to lose that match. I think it's about time they get the belt off of Orange Cassidy, really use all the goodwill that he's built up off the title, and get somebody like Swerve over a little bit more. I still don't know when we're going to have that Swerve and Keith Lee match. Because I was mentioning earlier, I was talking about Keith Lee, and I segued into some other shit completely. But yeah, thinking of Keith Lee, you remember when he was in NXT, the guy was the North American heavyweight champion, and then he also was the NXT heavyweight champion at the same damn time. Yes, he had both of the belts. And so I'm going to being booked like that. And now, of course, I know his main roster run, they tried to turn him into Bear Country Lee or some shit. Something that never really fit this guy because he's much too intelligent. He's not just some big brute. Keith Lee has a large and extensive vocabulary, and I feel sometimes they don't play into that. And sometimes it works to his detriment. Because sometimes, he just should be mean, and he ain't got to really explain shit. And just be, it is what it is, and that's all it's going to be. That type of energy. That's the type of energy I would be expecting from him. But, yeah, I don't know about Keith. I hope he's able to right the ship. But I'm not really feeling too confident. But again, him and Swerve has been feuding since, I want to say, a little bit after their claim, beat them for the titles in September. So maybe around October or so when they finally split up. Here we are in March, and you guys have still not had a one-on-one match to just finish this damn feud. I do not get it. I don't get it. Like, and we get the, he did the double stump on the episode of Rampage, threw some concrete bricks on Keith Lee, and he was gone for about 3 weeks. Came back, you know, still didn't get the match. We got like some shit where he tag teamed with Dustin, but we never got him and Swerve one on one. And I'm like, I've never seen somebody feud for almost a damn year, and you don't even have one match to pay off the feud. Like, what are we doing here? And you keep reminding us by doing a little backstage snippet, or one of them might diss each other on Twitter or some shit. They've done the most work for the least payoff with this. You know. But that was just my quick take on a couple things with AEW this week. I will say also, I'm going to try to find some time to go ahead and finish Double or Nothing so I can give a review on Double or Nothing. I'll probably be doing one sometime tomorrow about NXT. And so again, I just want to say thank you guys. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. I need all the follows. I need them all. But yeah, I just got my mic today, so y'all pouring with me here. And we're just trying to make sure we get a better quality of a show and just really bring y'all some good think pieces about the state of wrestling today from a fan's perspective. Somebody like myself that's spent over 35 years loving wrestling. Been watching it since the birth, damn it. But I hope y'all have a safe weekend. Definitely want to tell you, hope y'all had a happy, good Memorial weekend. I'm a former Navy guy myself. I was IT2 in the U.S. Navy. And also found out this weekend that a former co-worker of mine that I was stationed with actually passed away 2 years ago. Unfortunately, Stuart Ringley, RIP Stuart Ringley, passed away from COVID. And I found that out on Monday. And I was wondering why I hadn't really been seeing any of his posts. I just blamed it on the algorithm of Facebook. I want to say RIP, brother. He was nothing but a great guy, you know. Such a shame to see something like that happen to so many people, you know. And I know a lot of people try to say this stuff isn't real. I'm vaccinated myself. I never try to influence anybody's beliefs, but definitely want people to know that, you know, this stuff is real. This young man was only 30 years old, you know. But y'all take these, and y'all be easy.